Okay, so I've gone ahead and conditioned the plates that we just made. And what I mean by that is I've used them a couple of times. Just if you just roll out some paint on your plate, smush this down in there a little bit, make sure that paint gets dry on there. If you don't do this, you're not going to get a really clean pull when you pull off your texture plate. It's just because when you first use it, the glue is shiny and it tends to shift. It doesn't pull as much, but the more you use it, the better they become as far as pulling it clean right off the plate. And you'll see what I mean when you go to use yours. I did make a few prints here already using the texture plates, using different papers. I have here I had bought a ream of craft paper a few weeks back, and I cut some down to size to use for this. But then I also, when I'm experimenting, I just go and buy a pack of note cards. It's paper that I'm not that worried about. I didn't spend that much money on, and it gives me the freedom to play. So we're going to use that paper today, and I'm going to show you two ways of doing this, and we'll start with something like this first. So I just have some hot pink paint here, just a simple Deco Arts brand. So first I'm just going to start by putting that pink down on paper, just to make the paper pink. Now we're going to have our pink background. And then I'm just going to do a light blue. And maybe I'll try this zigzaggy one first. We'll push that down. And again, you just want to push straight down when you put that down, because if you push it this way or that way, it's going to push the print on your plate. Okay, just give that a good smush. And then we're just going to lift straight up. And see how we have this lovely texture on our plates. So now, because that's still wet, if you put this paper straight down on there, and again, let it sit on there a little bit. Clean up this edge. And I'm going to lift that off. And you can see how we got that lovely textured look for that. Okay, so I'm going to try another one using the circle plate this time. Put some yellow down. Putting my white paper down again. And there's just yellow. And then maybe this time a little aqua. Just going to add a little touch of cream in there to lighten that up a little bit. Looks like there's something on my brayer. Again, I'm going to stick this guy down. I'm just pushing straight down. And lifting up. Now with this one, you have to just be a little bit more careful, only because there's a lot more empty spaces in here. And see how it's lifting up some of the paint? It's okay, it's a lovely effect, but if I really pushed hard, all of that would come up in the middle. All right, so I'm just gonna take the yellow piece and put it down while this paint's still wet. Just let that sit on there for a couple seconds. Make sure it's on there good. And I'm going to pull that up. And see how that left that lovely effect on there. So that's one way of doing that. There's another way of doing this where you have to let the paint dry in between. And I'm going to show you that real quick as well. So I'm going to start with the lighter color this time. We'll just use this lighter blue, or aqua, I guess. Now, I'm trying not to put as much paint on when I do it this way, or I'll be standing here waiting for the paint to dry for a long time. This time I'll use the lines, the straight across lines. That down, and this one you can push pretty good because it has a lot more glue on it. Okay, and I'm going to lift that straight up, and it left a really nice texture. Now with this way, you need to really let it dry. So we're going to let this layer dry real good and come back and put the yellow on. Okay, so I've let this dry real well. I'm going to now use a yellow ochre. Go over that while that's on the plate. And now I'm going to use a stencil, and I'm going to put the stencil down. And I'm going to try the craft paper this time. We're going to put this one down. And now because we have let that other paint dry on there, the blue layer, aqua layer, it might take a little bit more for that to get lifted. So you really want to push that other wet paint into the dried paint so that it sticks to it. And now I know where my stencil lines are. I'm trying to push along the lines of that. I'm going to check this corner, and it's lifting pretty clean. So now you can see this lifted that whole print off in a layered look inside the stencil. So that's another way of doing that. So give those a shot. Let me know what you come up with. And good luck and have fun.